2 out of 3 episodes in the 30th season of The Simpsons so far are about religion. Me being spiritual, being religious, I absolutely don't mind that. But if I was an atheist, or perhaps believing in a religion that isn't discussed in any of these episodes, I would start to get a little bit irritated by that. It's quite peculiar. My Way or the Highway to Heaven is the third episode of the 30th season, directed by Mike B. Anderson. It has a fantastic message, but honestly, I found it to be kind of boring. It comprises 3 stories that are tied together quite nicely. The first story was okay, the middle one was boring, the third one I actually really liked because it spoke to me quite personally. So I'll try not to give too many spoilers, but I will say that there might be some spoilers going forward, so just to be on the safe side, I'm going to give a spoiler warning because I'm not entirely sure how much detail I'm going to go into. But basically, this is set at Sunday school, and initially, Ned is talking to the children about his religion and something he used to do in the past and how he had a spiritual awakening. And it was interesting enough. I liked seeing Ned in the flashback. In general, I don't care for flashbacks, but it actually wasn't too bad. The middle story is about an atheist, a relative of Marge's, and it's set during the war, set in France. And honestly, it wasn't that interesting. It wasn't the most boring. It wasn't terrible as such. I just didn't think it was very interesting at all. It didn't hold my attention. The third story is Lisa, and about the fact that the character in the story has a whole wealth of riches, and she's realised that she's not happy, and actually she wants to strip things back to basics, and she'd be happier if she had fewer things. Me being a minimalist, absolutely love that message. It spoke to me so much, I completely lapped it up. But honestly, the story itself wasn't that well developed. The narrative within the narrative wasn't that interesting or very well done. So even though I liked the message, loved the message, I didn't really care for the stories, and I feel like none of this was very well written. None of it was that engaging. Every now and then it would cut back to God, the Simpsons version of God, and basically God was watching these clips and then watching the clips of clips on his TV screen, and the whole discussion was about which people he should let into heaven. And it was basically showing, and the overall message is that there are different paths to heaven. There's no one right religion. There's no one right way of life. And I love that. And I think The Simpsons is pretty clever for tackling religion in that way, because whenever they do go quite heavy on religion, the message usually is there are other religions. And I think that they do well to deliver that message. So I think the message was very clear. They had a purpose, and I think they succeeded with that. But unfortunately, it wasn't the most entertaining. The 3 stories were not the most well written. Everything edited together really well. The pacing between each, I thought, made sense. Credit where it was due. But honestly, it wasn't the most fascinating. And if I wasn't religious, if I didn't have any faith, I probably would have been bored. I can't say that for certain. But if I wasn't believing what was being said, then there's not much else there that would have kept me engaged. So honestly, I liked it from a personal perspective, but in terms of a well-written, well-crafted narrative, it had its moments, but there was definitely a lot of room for improvement. I really don't know what to expect from the rest of this season. I'm hopeful, time will tell, but 2 religious episodes within the first 3, it's taking a very interesting direction.